All right, Shalom to the elect of Israel. All praises, honor, and glory belongs to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, ever well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. So, it looks like we have a, a rerun. And we told you that in 2020, that C-19, the whole thing was a trial run. You know, these elites and everything we're seeing, how the people would react to, something like this going on, you know. Um, but now you have this thing called a hantavirus. It says it's a group of viruses spread by rodents causing severe respiratory illness in the Americas and hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome in Europe and Asia. Okay. With transmission primarily through inhaling aerosolized virus from rodent urine, feces, or saliva. Okay. So this is, basically like, then we're gonna see how far this goes. We're gonna see how far they try to take it. And if this could be, the beginning of, a 2020 rerun. All right. So, this just recently came out, but it says hantavirus WHO director, the WHO director general will travel to Tenerife for disembarkation. Repatriation flights planned on Sunday and Monday. But it says a cluster of hantavirus cases struck the Dutch flag cruise ship MV Hondias as it traveled across the southern Atlantic, stopping at a number of destinations along the way. Public health authorities' investigations are ongoing. Gaps in knowledge are expected during an unfolding investigation. And as those gaps are filled, we will update you here. Here's everything you need to know. All right, as of May 8th, 6 confirmed and 2 suspected cases of the virus infection have been associated with the cruise aboard the Dutch flagged MV Hondias, according to the World Health Organization. The ship departed Argentina on its current voyage April 1st. 3 people have died. All right, so, and the thing is, we have to wait and see, where it leads once again. But it could, and whether this is some actual virus or not, this could be the elites, trying to bring everything back. Okay? It could be just that, too. Them trying to bring everything back. Now, here, people in the world, they having different, suspicions about it. It says the hantavirus is giving me flashbacks. So how worried should I be? Could this one be the next, demic? Experts weigh in a mid-cruise ship outbreak. Right? It says an outbreak aboard a cruise ship of rare rodent-borne illness called hantavirus has left 3 passengers dead and sickened others, with health authorities across 4 continents trying to track down and monitor passengers who disembarked the ship before its deadly outbreak was detected. What is this virus? According to the U.S. Center, and once again, just to repeat it, whether this is, something actually real and harmful, we don't know as of yet. Okay? But, because they could be making up a story, all right? And you'll just see how, far it goes, right? So it says it is a rare but potentially dangerous rodent-borne virus that can cause flu-like symptoms and severe lung or organ problems. And I mean, that's like, that's not something to cause a lockdown for, okay? Like the C-19 thing, that was strictly, these elites were trying to test something out. That was nothing. It was just had like cold. It was just like a cold, if anything, right? It wasn't that serious. But it says first detected in the U.S. in 1933. All right. It says where did the outbreak come from? Just reading this so we get some background on this thing. It says detailed investigations of the cruise ship outbreak are ongoing, notably to determine its source. Investigators in Argentina suspect that the cases were initially contracted during a bird watching trip in Ushuaia, if I'm saying that right, at the country's southern tip. Two officials told AP. All right. Um, right. It says, how worried should you be? Global health officials say the risk of the general public remains low because the germ does not easily spread between people. This is not the next C19, but it is a serious infectious disease. Right. It says, we believe this will be a limited outbreak if the public health measures are implemented and solidarity is shown across all countries. Okay. So they're saying they don't think it is. They just got to contain it and all that stuff. But once again, hey, if it's, as what's the name said, this is Winston Churchill. All right, who said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And that's how these elites are moving. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Now I think there's a shot for it already. Let's see. Let's see. It says Moderna flags work on antivirus, shots before cruise outbreak. Yeah, so they said working on a shot for it. All right, but look, man, the thing is, because and I seen that brother Amwanga, but I don't know if exactly if he was talking about this specifically, but he was saying, I just saw the title of his lesson, that is Revelation 12 and 12. And even if he wasn't talking about this, which I believe he was, he said, there's Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And this devil Esau is going to come down with that great wrath, right? Chips, lockdowns, crises, and all that, because they know they got a short time left in rulership. So, of course, they're going to try to bring, things to, of course, they're going to try to make things happen. In that way, they can try to get their plans on the move, And the thing is, Jake, if the government told Jake, that this is a serious thing, and this is a serious problem, and that they got to get this, that, and the third, Jake is going to do it. Now, here's the thing, right? They tell you that, and then don't forget about what happened in C19. It's like, why would you trust them again after that? Why would you trust these devils again after that? When in C19 they told you to get this stuff, and they made it mandatory for you to have it, or you would lose your job, etc. They demonized you, and then when they were seeing that the shot wasn't all that good, and then it caused problems, it made people, pass away, etc. They say you can't blame them for it. So why would you trust them again? Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. Right? It says, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst looked. If thou hadst wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So what you say, never trust your enemies. Right? Jump down to verse 13. It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, for any such as come nigh wild beasts, right? It's basically saying, like, why would you, for example, a snake charmer, if a snake bites him, who should feel bad for you? Because why are you near a snake, right? Or if you come near a wild beast and the beast turns on you, why would you, like, who would feel bad for you? Because why would you be around there? So if you mess with this devil again, if you trust him again after, uh, last time, it's like, and then it turns out bad for you. Like, you know, why would anybody, feel bad for you? You know, Shit. We didn't even feel bad for you the first time if you trusted this devil. See, but like overall, you know, we just got to see where this thing leads to. Okay, whether they try to spread it out more, say it's spreading more, because they were ramping up those numbers. In the C-9, it was ramping up increasingly. They just kept boosting up the numbers out of nowhere. All right, and I think over here in New Jersey, yeah, in New Jersey they have it here. Let me see, and what states? So the so-called antivirus infections in the U.S. are most common in western states, particularly in the Four Corners region: New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, and Utah. All right, but once again, to make it short, like, um, you know, we just got to see where this stuff goes, okay? Because the devil is coming down with that great wrath, right? So, you just got to keep a lookout. Just got to keep a lookout, man. Right? Because, Slovakia, shoulder messing up. Scriptures do say this. Remember, it's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. See, so we know that the prophecy is going to happen. And it's just waiting to see how it's, and when it happens. We know it's near. So we got to be patient, right? Because it's going to happen. Oh, yeah, it's going to happen. Best believe that, right? But I'm be surprised if they start talking about, more lockdowns and more restrictions, going on. Because all hell got to break loose, man. All right? This time that we have to go through, Jacob's trouble and the end, right? And another thing, Matthew 24, right? Starting at verse 6, it says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So we would hear about ongoing wars, talks of wars, but you're not supposed to, be panicked or troubled, because these things have to happen, but it's not the end of the end yet. Verse 7, "For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom," which we see you got America, Iran, Israel, Russia, etc., right? Ukraine. Um, Slovakia. You got, ethnicities of people clashing with each other. It says, "And there shall be famines, food shortages, and famines, right? And pestilences, diseases like this, and earthquakes in diverse places." I mean, in all different places around the world. Verse 8, where it says, "All these are the beginning of sorrows." So Yahushua told us this already. This is just the beginning of sorrows. Okay, it's just the beginning. you know, just the beginning, man. So And we're gonna see, if this, because this is one. This is definitely a part of that scripture that was that Yahweh Shai was, told to us, right? This whole hantavirus thing. This is a part of it, okay? But yeah, you know, um, so once again, we just gotta see how far it leads. Second Entrance 15:5-6. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the Lord is bringing the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All of that. He bringing plagues on the world. All right, because wickedness has um, fully, it's just covered the whole world, man. Okay, so it's time for judgment. So just wait and see, man. Okay, just wait and see how this thing is gonna play out. All right, but this could be, you know, them trying to bring everything back. More closures of this, that, and the third. And at this time, you got this going on. You got the releasing of the UFO, the so-called UFO files and everything. You know, so hey, man, we're definitely in the time of the end for sure. Okay, but like Yahushua said, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Right, so we just leave it at that. So, hey, with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, never well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shalom to the elect.